Got Roger's E46 M3 in this week for a underside restoration and a floor repair and reinforcement process. We've just laid out all the nice new powder coated items ready for installation this week. So a full rear axle build up, the floor is going to be painted and protected, all new BMW items, bushes, fixings, bolts, and we'll update the video shortly. So Roger's car is on the ramp now, and just a video in the condition of it before we start the work. Not in bad condition at all, just a bit of surface rust on a few items. Just to prove our theory more of the floor panel starting to flex in this left rear corner, you see a spot weld which has erupted there, and then there would be another one up there, but a BMW dealer has sprayed paint over this underside of the floor so we can't see it, but you can see the crack where the floor is broken, the sealer, and the corrosion's got in where the floor panel is spot welded to the rest of the chassis. Everything's removed on Roger's E46 M3 now. Complete rear axle system, fuel system, prop shaft, exhaust. As you can see, it's completely bare. Then we've got the right front mount here, where we've got a spot weld which is pop, the common one, just there, and then from there you get a hairline crack go out either side. And we've got a couple of other spot welds which are flex. There's also a crack just starting around the centre mounting pin. The other issue is this is the left rear side. We've got the typical hairline crack on this folded crease here. It's black because a BMW dealership have sprayed this black for some reason when it was in there for an inspection. A couple of other spot welds which have we've got some flex which we've identified, which we need to look into a bit closer. And then the typical floor movement on this left rear side, spot weld popped there. And like I showed you just now in the video, you've got the hairline crack where the floor is pulled away from the rest of the chassis. So we're part way through the scrub, clean and protect section of this underside restoration on Roger's M3. So we've done the right side pocket area, right front mount, around the spring perch, up above the fuel tank and the rear trailing arm section. And when you compare that to the left hand side, how the cars come in, you can see the big difference. And the main reason we need to do that is because we're doing a protection service and a colour change underneath. We need something for the paint and also the seam sealer to adhere to. So obviously on top of that oil, grease and dirt, it's not going to stick, so we need to scrub that off. So we use a all-purpose cleaner, we hand scrub the entire floor and then use a Karcher indoor steam cleaner to remove the rest of it. So that's just an example there. Here's a comparison of the wheel arch, left-hand rear wheel arch section before it gets cleaned up with our clean process. You can see that the underside of the floor is now clean. So that's the left rear wheel arch before cleaning, compared to the right rear wheel arch, which has been fully scrubbed and steam cleaned, and that's all now ready for some assembly. The other obvious reason for doing the scrub, clean and protect service is as the cars are getting to sort of 10, 11, 12 years old now, you can obviously see that the edges of items are just starting to lose their protection, like in this case here. We've got the factory covering which is obviously just broken away over the years, so surface rust is starting to set in on a few areas, brackets, things like that. So those are all going to be treated before the car is painted underneath. But this just gives you a close-up of the common hairline crack and spot weld issue on the right front mount. So up in there is the threaded receiver for the stud for the subframe front right mount. So then that circle in the very middle of the screen is a spot weld which has been drilled out, because that's the common one that cracks. And from there you get a crack going upwards, which you can just probably see going up to the hole which we've drilled to stop it, basically, and then one coming out the bottom of the spot weld which goes down to the hole again, which has been made to stop it. And then there's also a hairline crack starting around the threaded section, which you might just be able to pick up in the light on this video. And again, two 1.5mm holes have been drilled to stop that in its tracks. And then going over to the left rear mount, that's the hole where the threaded receiver is, and this is where the hairline cracks always appear, on this folded section of the floor. Let's just try and focus. There we go. So you can only just pick it up. There's a hairline crack, and the holes have now been drilled once the ends of the crack were located, so that they can stop and they can't travel any further. And now we're going to weld over those hairline cracks and the holes that we've drilled. Reinforcement plates are now welded on. That's the right front, and the little spacer plate ones. That's the left front. Right rear. And the left rear. And we've done our welding on the inside of the wheel arch section as well. You see some penetration marks coming through there. And we've done a light zinc spray coat behind the plates, and also on some areas that we've had to treat. So they'll get another coat now, all this will get etch primed, and then we can start doing our sprayable seam sealer. So the first layer of etch primer has been done now over the plates and any bare metal areas where we had to work, and now we're just going to be doing the sprayable seam sealer. So we finished our scrub, clean and protect, well, scrub and clean on this E46 M3. You can see all the floors are all fresh, all free of grease, grit, oils, debris, you name it, it's all dry. And that goes for the entire rear axle system all the way to the back. And the grey is what you're seeing is the sprayable seam sealer from Worth, after we've done the reinforcement plates and cleaned up any of the surface rust that we found on the chassis. And now we've got our mock-up spray booth, and we're effectively ready to do the protection system. We finished the protection side of the Underside Restoration in Phoenix Yellow 445, which is the same as the body colour. We haven't done the inside arches because they came up so clean. We're going to leave them natural, but we've done in the rear trailing arm pockets, all above the fuel tank area, above the rear axle, and obviously over the plates, reinforcement plates that we've welded on, all through to the boot floor section. And all this was masked up, and none of the pipe work or the fuel system was on here. It was all completely bare. That's how we managed to get such a good finish on everything. And now we've just started installing the brake lines, fuel lines and fuel system. You can see the colour a bit better there. So we'll just update that when we've got the powder coated items on. Starting to assemble things now, and you can see the fuel tank's been cleaned, brake pipe repairs have been made, and we got some pipes on. Just see the contrast of the colour. Fit up is well underway now. We've got a fresh set of Bilstein B16s. These are the PSS 10 coilover suspension for Roger's car. And you can see we've got a lot more components on now. Rear exhaust box, which has been polished. The diff cradle. Partway through the assembly process now, and we've got most of the rear axle done. Diff is in, drive shafts, upper arms, trailing arms, lower arms, brakes, calipers, wheel bearings. Brand new Bilstein PSS 10 kit. OEM rear box has been polished. Heat shields have been painted. Fuel system in. Prop shafts sorted, and there's a fuel tank and brake lines. And just heat shields, under trays, springs, exhaust system to go, and some plastics. And then we'll be doing a ride height setup. So we're at the final stages of the underside restoration now. We've got all rear brakes on, anti-roll bar on, all the diff and drive shafts are in, the heat shields are on, prop shafts done. We're just about ready to do the exhaust system and the plastic under trays. Then we just need to do a brake bleed, wheels on, height check, and then we're going to be doing a wheel alignment then. The underside restoration's finished now. Everything's back on, all the exhaust which has been polished, V-brace, heat shields, plastic under trays. We just need to tighten the eye-back control arms now, just because we're going to do the alignment process in the ride height next. Can't zoom out anymore, I'm afraid, so can't get a full picture shot, but you get the idea. Everything's been dealt with, even up to the front under trays. The aluminium heat shield's been polished, new fixings pretty much everywhere, and if it isn't new, it's been refurbished.